In the meantime, it is gratifying that the Quaker Church in Kenya is working on a peace curriculum to be integrated in the national education curriculum. This is the way to go in influencing national discourse now and for posterity. This conference is truly a landmark event for Africa, particularly its pledge theme, Come, Abide, and Go. The theme is daring Quakers to reach out because we believe Christ is calling unto us to come, abide by his teachings, and then go on missions. We are having fake prophets. They've caused havoc globally and more recent here in Kenya. People have lost lives. People have surrendered their hard-earned wealth to people who have not worked for anything. So, where have we failed? I have no answer. Please try and seek answers to this so that our society and our young children, because sometimes it beats logic, it defeats logic. It's very difficult to comprehend. When somebody is a professor and they actually surrender all their years of work, abandon their families, and then follow a false prophet who has not even been to class 1. It beats logic. So, where have we gone wrong as a society? I will leave that with you. It's a rhetorical question so that you can debate it. And hopefully in the resolutions that will emerge from this conference of Quakers, you will help in giving us some light and some guidance so that we can partner with you as government and help in making sure that people are not taken to the wrong path. As a policy decision, we are also saying that out of these 15 billion trees, we want 5 billion trees to be fruit trees. A third to be fruit trees. Your avocados, your mangoes, your guavas, oranges, apples, passion, you name it. So if we were able to have 5 billion of these 15 billion in 10 years as fruit trees, just think of the economy. How much fruit will you be able to export globally? It's amazing, isn't it? So, as Quakers, and I'm one of you, me, I've committed, I'll do my 10 every month. I hope you will do the same. After peace, let me pick on humility. Humility because leaders in Africa need humility in large doses, especially when leaders refuse to leave power, when their terms expire, or refuse to accept defeat after democratic elections. And in Africa, it is recorded, according to AU, that there are about 116 conflict areas that relate to boundaries. In Kenya, East Africa, there are about, in East Africa, there are about 22. These conflicts cause refugees. In Kenya, we are having a population of refugees of about 670,000. It becomes difficult, it puts pressure on the host communities, but because we are also tied to humanitarian efforts and the global aspect, you cannot chase them away. They have to be helped, they have to be supported, they have to be fed, they have to be educated, they have to get medical care. Now, this is the challenge. This is where the Quaker must put their best foot forward, so that you can be part of the solution, part of ensuring good integration of border communities, to have them to make them become harmonious, and at the same time to help them so that we can move away from this tension. And therefore, I come back now to what I said. Can that theologian also be an agricultural extension officer? Can that theologian also be a livestock development expert? So that we can help enhance the opportunities of the people who are challenged, and in the process, we will achieve our objective as Quakers, people of Mirembe, people of peace. I pick on integrity because it is mainly in Africa where integrity is a choice. This is when corruption is embedded as a virtue in governance rather than a plague to be vanquished. Let me acknowledge one thing. On your behalf, but I know you will also say it, let me take this moment to thank the Vice Chancellor of Kabarak University for hosting us in his institution. We are deeply touched, we are honored, and a lot of the Kenyans here know that we are here courtesy of the vision of one famous Kenyan in the name of Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. It is his vision and his commitment to education that bore fruit to this very institution that is now a source of pride for the people of Kenya. We really salute you, Professor, for keeping the flag up there, and we shall make more trips to honor your good work. So God bless you. We have a crisis of unemployment. My fellow Quakers, we have a crisis of unemployment. There are about 7 million young men and women, capable, able, schooled, but we have a crisis. We have to figure out what we shall do as a collective to sort out some of these problems. I may not know the full curricula at the French Theological College, for instance. But I think as Quakers, we may need to double up the theological component with one or two other skills, so that that pastor, that preacher, will not just pass the word of God, but will be an extension officer on matters of economy and skilling the congregation that they go to. I would not mind if my pastor doubles up as an agricultural officer. I would not mind if my pastor doubled up as an ICT trainer. I would not mind if my pastor doubled up as a nurse. And I would not mind if my pastor also doubled up as a mechanic. So let me convey that message so that we again pull together in trying to deal with this challenge of unemployment. By commissioning quick activities in Africa, I look forward to an enhanced alternative to violence program for Africa that will replicate the Ramallah Friends School Center in Palestine and establish Quaker universities for peace studies in the manner found in the USA and Canada. This development will complement local Quaker peace efforts. In Kenya, the Quaker fraternity was at the forefront of counseling and resettlement of displaced Kenyans following the post-election violence of 2007, 2008, and earlier skirmishes in the Mount Elgon area. And perhaps with some measure of humility, I was deeply involved in restoring peace with Kofi Annan, Mkapa, Gracia Machel, when Kenya was in turmoil. Climate change is now a big problem globally. We have a crisis. We've just come out of the very severe drought. We know that a lot of the conflict in some of the areas that were mentioned, whether it's in Turkana or Samburu, or even at the border level between our country and other countries, the issue of fighting for resources is a challenge. And the biggest challenge we are facing is when there's serious erosion and destruction of our natural resources. So I would like you as Quakers to focus and put your footprint on this challenge around climate change. It is invariably daring Quakers in Africa to take responsibility of ministering the Quaker foundations of peace, humility, and integrity. Peace, because Africa is grappling with myriad violent economic and political conflicts. It is a continent awash with mercenaries, fighting proxy international wars that need the intervention by the Church of Friends. You must have heard of the Russian Wagner militia struggling over Africa's natural resources. We also know what is happening in Sudan, and we also know what is happening around our borders. In Kenya, the government has committed that in the next 10 years, that is by 2032, we want to have planted 15 billion trees. It sounds impossible, but if every Kenyan planted just about 300 trees on an annual basis, we shall be able to achieve 15 billion trees in 10 years. So you as a Quaker, when you get home, just focus on 300 trees every year. That translates to just about 10 or so trees every month. Not bad, is it? It's doable.
Quakers across the country came together through the Women USFW groups and the yearly meetings, mobilized dry maize and dry beans and some clothes that we were able to reach out to Turkana families and Samburu families as a relief. As we have been continuing, it has not been a one-time process, but it has been a continuous process. We also have been able to work with girl childs in Turkana, Samburu, and Mount Elgon. Girls in this community face very harsh conditions and they're not able to go to school. So what Friends United Meeting is doing, we also look at how do we support these girls, not only academically in class, but we also mentor them, give them a shoulder to lean on, and even support with supply of sanitary towels so that they're able to get access and be in class and perform like any other child. Because in Kenya, our law states that every child has a right to live and to education. So Quakers, we are really playing a big role there. We still support Turkana, and not just the Quakers in Turkana, but the Turkana families at all. Because once you bring food in a church, the people who get a share of this food is not just the members, but the community that is around the church.
The other area of the missions that is really growing so much under the Friends African Board of Missions is Congo. Congo is another area that is having, as much as there is conflict in Eastern Congo, the Quakers are in with the gospel of Christ and the gospel of peace. And we are actually having a lot inside, deeper Congo in the forests. There are many people there who have not heard about Christ. We have limited to go. We are still raising resources, and we are working on those resources. Thank you for the Office of the General Secretary for supporting us. We are actually now building up a strong sustainability team, sustainability program to raise resources from both members and also from what we are actually undertaking to see that the missions work is being realized and being supported from all angles.